watching like Married at First Sight and stuff like that at the moment?
I don't watch it. People beg, like on TikTok, where like, obviously I cover reality TV. People beg me to watch it.
It is like, I try not to watch it because I actually made like a promise to myself that I was going to consume less shit. In terms of like, I wanted to watch like scripted stuff and stuff that took artistry to do, and less like.
It's very profound of you.
No, it's just more like, because I would watch stuff and I'd be like, why am I getting worked up about like manufactured drama, because it's not like a real thing. And then people would be like, it's not that deep, but you know me, I get like worked up over nothing. So I'd be sat there watching Housewives and being like, she started another fucking row again over absolutely nothing, over a secret. Yeah, this is it gets me too stressed. But the thing I hate about things like maths and like Love Island, and even like people, you know, like couples on YouTube and stuff like that, like Molly May and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is delicious, but like, I'm glad they split. No.
Like, cheat on her with me.
I find it really bizarre that you would sell your relationship, or even like entertain the idea of trying to find a real relationship on like TV or selling it to the public. Like, I have a real problem with it.
So, okay, so talk about reality TV first.
So the thing about like particularly stuff like Love Island and maths, for me, the problem I have with it is like, how can you think for a second that the connection you are going to make with any of these people is real? That's the first problem I have with it. Because they're like, what makes me go mad is that they're like falling in love, or like it is in lust.
I just don't know if they are.
But that's the thing. If it's either like a business venture where everyone knows they're there to try and capitalize on it, to then become a couple vlogger or a family vlogger or stuff, and they'll be like, we need to have a baby to bump up our numbers.
So let's talk about that, because that bothers me too.
Yeah.
The monetization of your relationship on YouTube.
Yeah.
Firstly, who are these 600,000 people watching your videos?
That's what I don't understand. I cannot, and I never have understood the fascination. I could understand maybe finding out 2 people a date and being like, oh, that's interesting. But I could not ever find myself being like, oh, I've got to see how they decorated their living room for Halloween this year and get some, like, it just seems mad.
Who gives a fuck, in my opinion?
This is it, though.
And I tell you what is even worse is when they add a baby to the mix. I'm like, I'm even less interested than I was before. You know, you've got Sam Fair's Nanny Baby Diaries or something.
But this is it.
Why do I care about your fucking kid, your 2-year-old kid?
But the problem is,
they can't even talk yet.
People do. So I think a lot of the time, and I find it so weird that people would make a business decision to have a baby because they know it would lead to like Lenore brand deals and like, you know, like other endorsements and stuff like that, and they know it's going to be a bump in the numbers. They'll get 9 months of like almost guaranteed content over the pregnancy and stuff like that.
Baby shower, gender reveal.
So there's that, and then I also have a major problem with people putting their kids online.
So that's where my issue comes in as well.
Because particularly, for one thing, I already have a problem with people selling their relationship, because I think, where does the reality begin and where does the
business venture start?
The business venture start. And then once that starts meshing together, because you are selling your real life, it's almost like, you know how The Hills was. It was like, it's real life, but it's not. I get that vibe off of a lot of YouTube stuff. So I already think, how do you know whether anything that's happening in your relationship is based on an actual feeling or emotion that you're having and what's right for you personally? And then and how do you know that any of it is real? And then when it comes to the kids, I'm like, how is your child, who has a developing mind, going to be able to understand that there's a reality and then doing it for the camera?
Exactly.
And I think it's going to raise a generation and beyond of like really damaged kids.
I think they're just, I mean, obviously need therapy, but I think it raises the children to have like an unhealthy dynamic with life. Like you're teaching them to commoditize. I don't know if that's a word. To
commodify themselves.
Like, and
to see themselves as I've always found it a bit weird to see yourself, like people say you've got to be a brand, and I think for children that is so fucking weird and damaging. Yeah,
and I think they'll grow up with problems, but moreover they'll grow up entitled.
Yeah, and they'll be entitled because you see it with like those kids. You know how like you are when you're little, you play up for attention. I mean, I'm still doing it, but
yeah,
but you do that thing of like, and my mum always used to be like, you're showing off, tone it down now. Like and it's good to have that kind of thing around. But if you've got parents that want to encourage that kind of behavior because it gets good reactions from your viewers, like, oh, he's so cute when he throws a tantrum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, how is that going to affect a developing mind and how these people go out into the world when they grow up?
And also, you're effectively selling your child's childhood and their mind, and innocence, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that you can make money.
And we already,
it's disgusting, really.
You know, you can't. In law, can't consent to anything
option.
Until you're 18
That's what
years
I mean.
old.
You should give them the
so
option
how
to
can
decide.
you even think that they're making an informed decision to continue participating
Yeah.
in this stuff? I just find it really odd. So that's one of my big issues with it. And the other thing is, like what I was saying before, I find it so insincere and inauthentic to like go on TV to think you're going to find love. I don't know whether Molly May and Tommy Fury had like a actual relationship. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were one of the rare lucky
I think they did.
People that did. I never followed them very closely. I just used to look at pictures of Tommy.
It didn't last. It was born on reality TV and then it didn't last.
Yeah, and then also did being under that scrutiny for all that time, did sharing every little nook and cranny of your life, or like a lot of it with a massive audience, have an effect on that. I always just think like with regard to relationships, what no one can see, no one can ruin. So like when I've had relationships, like I never put them on social media.
Evil eye.
Yeah, evil eye. But like, I just think if no one can see it, no one can set out to ruin it.
Yeah.
Whereas you put yourself on a big platform like that, you put your happy relationship out there, you sort of like sell yourself as an ideal. And it's sort of in some people's nature to be like, I'm angry that they say they have that. I'm angry that they're happy. I'm angry that they're showing it off. I'm going to go out my fucking way to ruin that. And if you're a girl that wants to get famous, or a boy that wants to get famous, no quicker way to do it than to become a page 6 tabloid story saying I slept with so-and-so.
Yeah, sure. I do agree with that. I also just think you're somebody who got with a really hot guy who is famous. He's going to have women throwing their pussies at him left, right and centre. My issue with the whole YouTube thing is that they edit it themselves. If it was filmed by like ITV and we could see them like farting and like doing all of like
having a proper Barney over like who didn't take the dog out.
Yeah, like all of that like really gritty shit where they're just like pretending that they're all pristine. Yeah. Like I would maybe watch some of that. Make me watch something where I'm gonna go, yeah, she's rotten just like me. she's eating her toenails.
She picks that up off of the floor after it had been there for more than 5 seconds.
Yeah,
like I could understand that. I think there needs to be more of that because I think there's a lot of like this branding and like selling yourself for endorsements and stuff like that means that you have to keep yourself as like almost like a pristine, like you have to be beyond reproach. You have to be aspirational content all the time.
Yeah. I also, like, I would go on reality TV to find love, but that's literally because I've exhausted all other options. I've done dating apps. I had a fucking matchmaker. I paid crazy money for a matchmaker, a dating agency.
You've done a matchmaker?
Did I not tell you this?
I feel like maybe you did.
We have to talk about this properly on another podcast.
Yeah.
Even though I'm under an NDA, but I made them sign
with the matchmaker.
Yes.
That seems a bit dubious.
No, I've left them. And they made me sign an NDA upon leaving.
Did they know you had a podcast? Is that why?
They found a comment that I'd left on Reddit. Under the same name as my Instagram and my TikTok.
Right. Saying what?
Basically just slagging them off, slagging off their service. And then because it was in a Reddit thread. A Threadit.
Okay, a Threadit.
It was in a Threadit about their company. So there was obviously other unhappy people with the service.
That strikes me as odd though. Like,
so then I commented and I said, if you're part of this agency and you've got problems, DM me. I'm going to do a series about it on TikTok.
Right.
So then they've slapped me with an NDA. So I said, listen, I don't need to go online and slag you off, but you need to give me freedom to talk about my experiences.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're a consumer and you're allowed to...
And also, like I said, I have a podcast, I do stand-up comedy. I need to be able to talk about my experience. I don't need to slag them off. It's fine, but I will talk about my experience with them. So I would go, but I would only go on the things that I feel like work. So
what do you think works?
First dates.
Okay.
I think they do quite a good job at matching people.
Right.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I applied for first dates, and then they said that they wanted me to go on the holiday one, like first dates vacation, first dates hotel, I think it's called. It was just that the questionnaire was so intricate. It was like, would you date a drag queen? Would you date a trans person? Would you date a trans drag queen with one arm and one leg? That was also deaf. Like, they had to get to the nitty gritty of what was a deal breaker and what was not. And when I had watched the show back in the day, nobody watched it now anymore, nobody that I know.
Right.
But back in the day, they used to make good matches.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it's kind of shit, but I love the concept of Love is Blind, hence why I cover it.
I can't stand Love is Blind.
It's the American one. I mean, the UK one, I felt like they did quite a good job with the matches.
Have I seen the UK one? I don't know.
There's only been one season.
But I find the American one so unpleasant to watch. I just feel like everyone goes on there like to prove that they're not shallow, but then it turns out that they really are.
Yes.
And I don't know. And also they just say things that fucking like make me feel like sick.
100%. I just did a post yesterday about how he was like, one of the girls said, "What do you like about Marissa?" He goes, "I love the way that she holds my vulnerability."
It's all that like, did you see that like clip of like Trixie and Katya that were doing impressions of people on Love is Blind? And it was like, at the end of the day, your reality is not what's occurring in my situation. So, you know, what happens. And, you know, like it is what it is.
I did see that.
But it is exactly that. They just use all these weird like therapy terms.
But it's even worse than that. It's like, I just feel like I really appreciate you because you make me feel seen, and therefore I'm not triggered by, give it a rest.
I just want to honour and consecrate my feelings to you as we share this gold goblet of wine. I will consecrate my love to you as we embark on this journey together across the eternity as we have found each other in darkness.
I love you so much. That's literally all they tell each other.
Or they say, I'm going to put a baby in you all the time. They're obsessed with that.
Wait, so let me ask you, your issue with like monetizing relationships and things like that, what's the difference between a couple on YouTube and a couple on OnlyFans?
So for me, OnlyFans is actually better. So I think it's a more honest way of doing things because you are selling exactly what you're selling. You are selling sex. That's what you're putting out there. So you go, you do your sex show, you film your content or whatever it is, your fetish videos, you do a bit of interaction and stuff, and then you can put it aside and go on with the rest of your life. What you're not selling for I'm not saying this is not what everyone does, but for the most part, it feels like a more honest way of doing things. They are selling they've made it clear what is available here. The whole life is not for consumption. They're not pretending to be anyone better than they are. They're just being sexy and titillating you.
Well, I would like to contest the comment about OnlyFans performers not thinking they're better than they are. That's definitely not fucking true.
Okay, well, yeah. I'm sure egos exist everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Especially in
But what I mean is they're not trying to sell, like, aspirational content, you know? Like, you might aspire to be as attractive as someone, but I think what the beauty of OnlyFans is, and all of these like kind of subscription sites where people create their own content, is there's a peg for every hole, different strokes, different folks. You can find what you're looking for, find their little niche, and then they can sell to that audience.
Sure.
And I feel it's honest. Whereas a content creator that's selling aspirational lifestyle is probably going out of their way to make their life look good.
Better. Yeah, 100%.
And pasting over cracks and lying to themselves and not necessarily being honest within their own relationship if things aren't satisfying them or making them feel valued or seen, but they know that they need to stay together for the likes.
Yeah.
You know, if you're an OnlyFans couple, you could probably break up and still do solo shit.
Yeah. It's interesting because the OnlyFans couples sell the only thing that the other couples don't really, which is the sex lives.
Yeah.
For me, the issue of why like the YouTube thing is worse than the OnlyFans thing is because it's fucking cringe. Like you're embarrassing yourself.
Right.
And what's even worse than OnlyFans and the YouTube thing, not that there's anything wrong with OnlyFans, but what's worse than YouTube especially is couples who create content together on Instagram or TikTok. I'm so exhausted. Like, you really thought that you two doing some lip sync to a scene from Friends was going to add any value to my life?
Please don't get me started on people lip syncing.
I feel like we're
Please
talking.
Don't.
I feel like we could be thinking about the same couple, but there's definitely one couple.
I don't know that I'm thinking of the same person, but I'll let you go on.
And it bothers me because it's like, it's either lip syncing or it's a very, very basic attempt at thirst trapping.
Right.
And
don't come for the thirst trappers.
But the difference is it becomes cringe because they're acting.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there's a reason that you're not in front of a camera with your clothes on. You know what I mean? You look hot naked. You're not an actor.
Right.
I've just seen stuff and I'm like, you're so cringe. Like, and you're very hot, but you're so cringe.
I feel like I'm a glass house person here, though, because obviously anyone could look at what I do on Instagram and be like, this is fucking cringe, and like, you've got no place to talk. I just find all of that kind of I can't stand highly curated content. So like, we've talked about how like what I put up on my Instagram has a bit of a sense of whimsy and I don't take it very seriously. But I find with all of this kind of stuff on like TikTok as well, it's all like, you've got to make it look as perfect as possible.
Oh, not TikTok, not at all.
Really?
No, TikTok is rough. TikTok is rough. But I love it. You see people there, no makeup on, no script, 800,000 likes, and it's a little story time. I love it. I just can't stand the people who have nothing to offer. Yes, you are naked and you look great. That is why you make good money on OnlyFans, and that's why you have a lot of Instagram followers.
I don't make money on OnlyFans.
No, but you
could. I thought you were talking to me. Yeah.
No, sorry, I meant the general you.
I was like,
the population.
Did I start a channel and I don't even know?
You
I haven't cashed a single check.
You very much could. Do you know what I mean? For me, why are you then trying to do these like cutesy little...
You just don't. You get the ick very easily, and you get cringed out very easily as well.
I don't think it's very easily. I think it's just, you know. I feel like if you ask 10 people, does this video make you cringe from the inside out?
I think some of
where
it's
you
intentional though. I think it's rage bait. A lot of people have discovered that the more cringy your content is, the higher the interaction levels, even if it's negative interaction. I think that's a big part.
You're giving their intelligence way too much credit.
I don't know, because I heard that's why people deliberately misspell shit in their captions and stuff, just so people will be like, it's actually sneak peek, P-E-E-K.
Again, very smart, but they just have dyslexia.
Maybe. I think some people are a lot more calculated than we give them credit for.
So, for example, have you ever seen a video of one of on like TikTok?
No.
Lucky you. But they'll do these things, or you know, where it's like safe for work but thirst trapping.
Oh, those kill me.
You know, so just to give you like a rough example, they'll have like a towel on, and then they'll walk in front of the boyfriend and open the towel, and then the boyfriend makes this ridiculous face as if you know, his man doesn't have an average sized dick.
Yeah, it's the ones that do things like sexual cooking.
This is what I'm talking about.
Like slapping a piece of meat and then putting their fingers in it and being like, and then like, there's that one that does a coffee as well, I think it is, and he puts the milk in his mouth and then spits it into the coffee afterwards. And I just think that's a bacterial infection waiting to happen. I'm not going to drink that. But people in the comments are like, make mine a double, please. I'm like, come on.
Coming back in my next life is an espresso.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you're going to upload this kind of content, let's just call it what it is. naked pictures and titillation. And that's what I try to sort of keep in mind when I post my first traps. That's what I think is the situation with OnlyFans a lot of the time. I can't stand this, like, what is basically like softcore porn from Channel 5 back in 1992.
Very Euro trash.
Yeah. Like, it's all just people sort of like doing quirky comedy skits that are sort of supposed to be sexy as well. I saw one with a guy going into a fucking supermarket the other day and picking up courgettes and slapping them against his hand and smelling them and then putting them in a trolley, and it was like, and then the caption was like, "Gonna cook you a salad tonight." It was like, what? I hope you did buy them courgettes though. Come on. If you're putting them back in the fucking box.
You're going to make me a fucking cringe salad. That's what you're going to make me.
God.
And then you've got the lady sitting on the till like, sir, man on aisle 6.
Please stop fondling the produce. Put that marrow back.
I saw one the other day, and this was on Instagram. I don't know why I follow this guy. He follows me, and I was like, do you know what? He's kind of cute. And then also, by the way, have you ever done this thing where you then, they'll have an Instagram profile, and you think, oh, you're quite fit. And then you know that they have an OnlyFans. So you click through to the Twitter, and then all of a sudden I'm like, not for me. That was not.
I don't think I've ever had that experience. I think what I have usually is someone with a private profile requesting my friendship, and I get conned by the little
Oh, I've had that a
photo.
lot.
Although
Yeah.
now you can most people let you expand them now, so that's cut down on a lot of that. But a few times I've clicked that, requested it, and then been allowed access to the full feed and been like, I've been duped.
Yeah. Oh, unfollow. No, so I follow this guy, and he was doing a workout with his boyfriend. I mean, you know, you can never tell if it's their actual boyfriend or just some guy they're fucking for 3-4 months. And one of them's laying on the floor, and then this one is doing squats over the other one's face. And I just...
Who watches it though? That's what I mean. Whenever stuff like that pops up, you know, when
I'll tell you who
does a
watches
suggested reel or something like that, suggested TikTok, I'm like, oh! And I always click that thing. It's like, don't show me more like this. I don't want to see it. I don't want to interact with it. Short form video is the worst thing to happen to hot people ever. Because before, when it was just a photo, you could think they're hot. And you didn't have to know anything else about them, didn't have to like watch them attempt to be funny, didn't have to watch them lip sync to someone else's joke that's already been lip synced to 5,000 times. And now you do. And everyone thinks they're the funniest person on earth.
Yeah, but that's why you don't need
Said the two people on a podcast.
But no, at least we can laugh at ourselves. But I'll tell you who's consuming that type of content. Do you remember episode 1? The horse handler?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be people from like, it's going to be like closet cases on like a download Insta account.
Maybe countries where looking at porn is difficult. I also notice
It's also going to be a lot of ugly old people.
I also notice a lot of it is faces you're like, ooh, yeah. It's like really young girls, like 12-year-old girls. Oh. So they're like, oh, you're so dreamy and so gorgeous. And obviously they're not like accessing porn, but this stuff comes up and it's sort of like their, I don't know, awakening of sexuality and stuff like that. And they see gay men and think maybe they're a safer option. I don't know, but I notice a lot of that. A lot of people that respond to that kind of content or interact with it are young.
So slightly off topic, right? But do you not find it weird now that we're older? Do you not find it weird when you look at like young people? I feel like my view of young people compared to when I was young is so different. So for example, my 15-year-old niece has just like told my sister that she's vapes sometimes, and I'm like, what? You are vaping? And then I'm like, wait, what was I doing at 15? Strangers off the internet.
Right. I have to remind myself that half the people you're interacting with online are much, much younger than you. I got into a row with like a teenage girl once over nothing. And she tore me apart.
She tore you up? No,
she ripped me a new arsehole. She fucking went on my Instagram profile and was like, you're obviously a fucking sad old pervert with your tied up shibari shit and your naked pictures. And then I was like,
she did not say shibari.
Like, she said like tied up with ropes, and all these other little girls got involved as well. And she was like, he's
what?
obviously
Where
it was on Instagram, because I corrected her on a post about Britney Spears, and she got them all involved, and you were like, you need to be on a register, you pervert. So I blocked them all, like, oh my God. And then she inboxed me and said, you're so sensitive. I bet you cry when men fuck you, but you ask for more while they talk to you like shit. And I was like, how did you know that?
Literally, as you said it, I thought,
she's
dead
got
on.
my fucking number.
Dead on.
But I was just like, I looked at her little like profile picture, and the thing is also because she read me to filth, and then I locked my profile, and she even was like that, oh yeah, you went private, so you must be ashamed. And I was like, ah!
You got bullied.
I got bullied. I took a day off work because of it, because I was so het up. I was like, I just need to calm down. I've had a very traumatic experience.
What a bitch.
So now, yeah. Me, I'm the bitch. I got fucking bitch slapped by a teenage girl.
No, that's
these kids
rude,
come correct.
man.
They don't.
That's
like,
rude. I'd have actually gone onto her profile and read her to feel.
She ain't got it. Hers was all locked up. All these kids are smarter than that now. Like, they don't have anything you can consume. A lot of them don't even have profile pictures. They have like anime ones and stuff.
Do.
So you can't really do anything other than be like, oh yeah, big talk from behind an anime profile picture. And what's that going to do?
Yeah, I know.
And I sat there, and every now and then I still steam about it.
Yeah.
I'll be in the shower and I'll be like, I hope that girl falls down a crevice.
Oh.
Like,
See, I try not to go with like physical harm, but I will always wish bad mental health on people.
oh no, I
I'll
wish
be like,
physical harm on people.
Depression.
I'm evil eyeing everyone all over the show.
So would you like disown me if I went on Love is Blind?
I wouldn't disown you, but I'd question if your relationship was actually real. Because for me, I'd be like the whole time, and I noticed this actually on Married at First Sight, this episode I just watched, where one of them was like, you've come up with a storyline, let me in on it and we'll split it 50-50, but just tell me, don't string me along. And I'd be like, that must be all of them.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't ever know that whether that person was in it for the real reasons. And to be honest, judging by some of the participants, they're not.
Well, no. I mean, maths very much gives, like, if council estates made reality TV. It's giving Caravan on the Motorway reality TV. Have you seen them comments where people are like, didn't I see your house on the M25?
No. Don't. My mum goes caravanning.
Oh, but do you know what?
She's on the motorway. She's in one of them.
Yeah. I did it when I was younger. Like, my family used to do it too. It's a British thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you live in one, does she live in one?
Rather not say. She does not.
I did a roast battle with a guy whose mum lived in a caravan.
Right.
Needless to say, I won.
Well, yeah.
Not just the roast battle, but also life.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you did that, I'd be a bit like, I don't.
What about if I went on maths?
I'd think you're a fucking psychopath to do a wedding on television.
I'm telling you, if I went on maths, well, you do a wedding on Love is Blind, but if I went on maths, the wedding's not legally binding. So
legally blinding.
Legally blinding. Legally blonde.
Legally blind.
Right. Setting up a whole new show here. It would be solely to like get a platform.
Yeah, but that's it. So that's
if in 2025 you see me on maths,
turn your head.
Don't.
Yeah.
Mind your damn fucking business.
Mind your fucking business.
Don't regurgitate this podcast clip, basically.
Right, yeah, all right. Okay, screen recording this as soon as it lasts.
Yeah. All right, on that note, I think we're at the end of episode 4.
Yeah.
Flying through them, haven't we?
It is, yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to go and set up my OnlyFans account now.
Oh, yeah. Do you think you ever would?
I'll come back to you on that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, thanks for watching or listening. If you want to follow us on social media, I'm at Gilet Slays.
And I am at IamTomDop. I have to remind myself what my handle is every time.
Just things like the opposite of what you are in the bedroom and then swap the letters around.
Yeah.